Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a year of Christmas video to share with you. This is my series where I am sharing a Christmas type project every month of the year through 2022. I am slightly behind, but I'm very excited to be sharing some platform pop-up die cut cards with you today. These are absolutely amazing. Not only are they a fantastic Christmas card idea, but the recipient can use it as decoration as well because it pops up. So we are going to mostly be using Honeybee Stamps pattern paper today. I have linked to the pattern papers I'm using in the description below. And then we're going to be using the platform pop-up, the Build a Gift die set from Pretty Pink Posh, the Pocket Gnome from Simon Says Stamp, and of course, the platform pop-up is from Fawn. I have quite a few platform pop-up cards here on my channel, as well as other places, and I will link to those in the description in the video down below. Now, what I thought would be amazing is to die cut the components for my cards from pattern paper. We all have loads of pattern paper in our stash, and so the first two cards I'm going to share with you all use Honeybee Stamps pattern paper, mostly because that is something I had in my stash. I had a lot of holiday of Honeybee Stamps 6x6 pattern paper in my collection, and I really felt like the colors lent themselves to what I was trying to achieve. Now, last minute, I decided to throw in a Lawn Fawn card, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. So for our first platform pop-up, this is going to be more of my traditional Christmas red and green or red, white, and green holiday card. We have two panels of the white and black plaid from Honeybee Stamps. This is from the Holiday Cheer paper pad. Then we have the little divider pieces for a platform pop-up, and what you're seeing here is me assembling the platform pop-up. Basically, I applied double-sided strong adhesive to everything I needed to adhere that to. If you want a more detailed description of the platform pop-up, I will link to another video I did down below. I always take a bone folder and I just reinforce those score lines for the platform pop-up. You need two to create the entire platform, so you need two panels, and then three of those little white T-shaped images, and that's basically what you need, and from there you can add anything you want to your platform pop-up. On two of these little T-shapes, we're going to use the entire thing. There is a score line. I have adhesive on that. You're going to place it through the bottom of your one side of the platform pop-up, remove the backing paper and press that in place, fold up the platform pop-up, and secure it with this next little piece. One half of your platform pop-up is now assembled. It's easy as that. On that third T-shape, we do cut off from the score line to the end and only place adhesive on that solid white portion, which I'll show you in a bit. Something I found the more platform pop-ups I've put together is that I like to go ahead and assemble my layer as I am assembling my platform pop-up. I find it's a little bit easier. So in this case, I want snow layers, and so I chose a patterned paper. This one is a white, kind of a white on white pattern paper, and I believe it is from, I think it's from that same paper pad, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Actually, I think it's from Log Cabin. And I'm going ahead and adhering those to the different layers. So that's what you're seeing me do there. You can definitely wait till you have the platform put together if you want. Like I said, I've put together enough of these that I found some little tips and tricks along the way that work best for me. So I've simply placed the other half through, or the other half of the card, I've assembled the other half of the platform pop-up, and I'm using a little skinnier double-sided adhesive for each of those tabs. And then from there, we're going to take that piece that we cut the bottom off of, remove the backing paper just from the bottom down, and that goes in between the two layers. So basically it's going to get sandwiched between the two halves of the platform pop-up. On one of the sides, it doesn't matter which one, go ahead and place some nice, strong, double-sided adhesive. I like to use plenty. I want my platform pop-up to stay together. And then we're going to remove the backing paper and we are going to sandwich or place kind of back to back, maybe that's how I should say it, the two halves together, and this forms the platform pop-up. From here, we just need to remove the backing paper from the tabs, fold that in and secure. We'll do that on the other side. And our base of our platform pop-up is assembled just like that. It literally is so easy to achieve. Now, the platform pop-ups do fit in a standard A2 size envelope, which is something I find amazing. The pretty pink Posh birthday dies present gifts dies came out here as part of a birthday release. And I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if these were used as Christmas presents and used to create a card? So I am combining all of these, and you can see I've die cut all of the different components for those from different pattern papers and combine them with a little gnome for a really cute die cut scene card. I love scene cards, whether it be stamps or dies, and in this case, it's going to be in a completely die cut interactive scene card. What I love about the bows in the collection here is that there's a nice base, and then there's also all of the little components that you can layer on that gives that bow a ton of depth and dimension. So we're going to go ahead and place all of those pieces on top. I really love the burlap look of this particular pattern paper. I think it's great for ribbon. That is from the Holiday Cheer. Most of the patterns I'm using here are from Holiday Cheer, which I think it was the I think it was this last year's Christmas pack, but guys, I could totally be wrong. I have no idea. I probably shouldn't even say that. I don't know. I think it's a little newer, but I know several years ago, the Holiday Traditions came out, which still continues to be one of my favorites, even though as far as a 6x6 paper pad goes, I've used almost every sheet in it. I'm almost out. There's like maybe one left of each design. No, not of each, of some of the designs. I've used up a lot of that, which is the goal. Use our supplies. Anything here, I believe, is Holiday Cheer or Holiday Traditions. Now, the gnome, I decided to deck him out all in green. This is mostly because I want to add a little red pom-pom to his hat. If you've seen any of my other gnome videos in the past, especially if I'm creating something like a tag or a dimensional type project, even cards on occasion, I love a little pom-pom on the hat. This bow is 3 pieces plus the ribbon, and it comes in the Lawn Fawn platform pop-up. And what is great about it is to go with my present theme. I like to use it around my platform pop-up anyway, but I think with the present theme, it makes the platform itself another present. I think that's kind of fun. So that's what I assembled there, and I'm letting the glue dry. And I'm making sure that all of my little parts and pieces are where they're supposed to go. I did all of my die cutting all at once, and then I came back and I assembled everything. All of my die cutting for 2 of the cards. This video originally was going to just be the 2 first cards I'm sharing, so more of the traditional holiday, and then like what I call the farmhouse holiday, which is all the browns and neutrals. And I slept on it, and overnight I was like, no, I really want to use Lawn Fawn and do a bright, colorful, modern Christmas look. And so I actually went ahead and did one of those really quick too, so I would have 3 completely different samples. You could easily die cut more of them all of the same if you wanted to create multiples. I think this is probably more of a card that you wouldn't mass produce. So last month, the February A Year of Christmas video was more about mass producing. This is not that. This is something for maybe that special friend or loved one, and just kind of a fun way to send something super special. I am going to use the Fawn Platform Pop-Up Add-on, which creates this backer. You wouldn't have to. I think it would be really cute as is, but I found a pattern, honestly, for each card I wanted to use. And what I love about this one is it helps with the scene. Those trees from this tree pattern paper is just perfect. This is Holiday Cheer again from Honeybee Stamps, and I think it makes a great backdrop for a scene card. Maybe you don't want to create all die cuts. Maybe you want to stamp and color your images. If you want to stamp and color your images, the trees are still a really, really cute backdrop. I find it kind of a fun challenge to go through and find pattern papers that will work to build a scene card. And so I really love that. In fact, I just placed another order for a bunch of pattern paper. Just kind of, I was wanting some fresh pattern papers, and I have really been digging creating cards from pattern paper lately. Next, I did die cut 4 of these strips. This is going to help with that ribbon look that you place around your box. Now, you could just do 2 in the front. However, I have really been enjoying going ahead and die cutting 4 of them and wrapping them all the way around. This is going to help ensure that the back of your box is cute as well. On the front, I'm going to secure my bow, and on the back, the bow hides the seam. On the back, we're actually going to die cut a little panel using a rounded rectangle die from Simon Says Stamp, but we're going to add an extra sentiment and leave a little room where you could write a tiny message or at least sign your name. And so it really covers up the seam nicely and gives it a more finished, polished look. I'm really liking cutting 4 of these and just wrapping them all the way around the box. I did secure those with double-sided adhesive. And look at that, there is our base. So we have our gnome, we have our presents. It's time to start putting it all together. And of course, if you've seen any of my pop-up style cards before, you know that my favorite thing is acetate picks with floating elements in the card. What I need to first figure out is, where are the presents going to go? Where is the gnome going to go? Well, the gnome, we don't want him too covered up, but we want it to really be full. So what I found worked best is that there's about 2 elements per layer. So there's going to be 2 presents in the back, a present in the center with the gnome, and in the front, 2 of the lower profile gifts. So that's kind of my plan going forward. Now, our poor little gnome needs a little bit of work. His beard needs some shading and his nose needs some coloring. I'm going to use E13 and 11 for his nose, really super quick coloring, and then warm gray 3 and warm gray 1, right? Yes, for his beard. And I am just doing a really quick feather of my warm gray 3. I'll go back over that with warm gray 1 to blend out my feathering a little bit, but this adds a ton of interest to our gnome. He really is probably the center point of the scene card, or the central figure. The presents are more of a supporting cast, if you will. Also, his die cut outfit, I felt like needed some jazzing up, so I've got some of my favorite rainbow Honeybee Stamps gem stickers, and we're going to place one of these little gems in each one of the little cutouts of his outfit. It almost gives it like a little star effect, which I personally think is cute. And we're going to do something similar on each one of these, but following the theme of the card. I am using liquid adhesive to adhere the gifts and the gnome to each layer. So how I determine whether I'm going to use liquid adhesive or the tape or double-sided adhesive is really just kind of based on what's easiest and what I think is going to create the most secure bond. And in this case, that created the best bond. What I'm looking for is for the elements not to fall off, especially with something that's interactive. Now, I did this before I assembled my pop-up box for the remaining 2 cards, but I didn't realize where I wanted to put my sentiment until it was too late. So I kind of lived on the edge, and I stamped a phrase from the Mama Elephant holiday messages along the top of the box right above the bow. I like that little touch of sentiment on the front because most of the sentiment is on the back, but I do like this little tiny text. This is one of my favorite holiday greeting stamp sets, and so it was fun to add that. I added a different sentiment for both the front and the back for each card. So this is "'Tis the Season to be Jolly," stamped with VersaFine ONYX black ink. I have some acetate picks that I trimmed using my paper trimmer. This is the Lawn Fawn acetate, and I'm leaving them long on purpose. That way I can trim them down. I want them to make sure they stay within the box when it is folded so that it fits inside a standard A2 size envelope. If you are looking for some snowflakes, I was really looking through my stash for small snowflakes. These I showed a minute ago are from the Lawn Fawn Magic Iris Snow Globe add-on. And basically, I looked through my stash for small snowflakes that would work. I don't want them to overpower the design, so nothing big. And I am going to take glue dots for both the acetate pick, mostly because liquid glue takes forever to dry on the acetate, and then glue dots for the snowflake. And we're going to stick them at different heights on different layers in our platform pop-up box. So all of the little acetate picks will feature some snowflakes, so it's like falling snow within this little forest, basically, for this first card. I did die cut my snowflakes from some glitter white cardstock, so it has a little glittery touch to it, which is about the, that's a little bling, I guess. The gemstones have a little bling. These are pretty low on the bling factor, but I love it. Now, another thing I probably should have done before I secured him to my box was add the pom-pom. So I added some liquid glue, and then I placed the pom-pom down there, but I'm going to clamp it with my tweezers and let it set till it dries, and it's not going to go anywhere if you do that. A little clay snowflake is adhered in the center of the bow on the front. Again, just keeping with the holiday theme. I know here in the US, we're getting ready to head in. We're in spring, hopefully. I mean, wow, spring's been a long time coming here. So let's say we're getting ready to head into the warmer months, and so we might not be feeling holiday, but I love having this done. And really, it was kind of fun to work on holiday this early. I have never worked on holiday cards this early. I'm really loving this series, and it's a really great challenge to work on Christmas early, number one. And number two, I am using product from all over the place. So in these cards alone, we are using, let's count how many different products. We have Simon Says Stamp. We have Lawn Fawn, Pretty Pink Posh, Mama Elephant, Honeybee Stamps. I think that's 5. I think I've got them all. That's a lot. A lot of times I stick within one manufacturer or maybe a couple of manufacturers. I really, really love mixing and matching, and I hope this inspires you to maybe look at your supplies in the same way and just kind of gather up a bunch of favorite things and throw them together and see what you end up with. It really, really is awesome. Okay, so I did not clamp down that pom-pom, and I wanted to leave this in so you could see. I added some more glue, and I'm going to clamp that and set him aside and let that completely dry. For the back, I am using a Simon Says Stamp rounded rectangle die. If you watched my making the cut video for Simon Says Stamp in April, you will notice I did the same thing. I like the rounded corners of this. It just softens it a little bit. You can use a regular rectangle as well. And the greeting for this one is from the Mama Elephant Mixed Holiday Greetings, stamped with Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Ink in Pine. And there is our first little pocket gnome holiday platform pop-up card. For this, we're going to use Farm Fresh Holiday and Log Cabin mostly. You will notice Spreading Holiday Cheer was stamped and embossed prior to trying to put that platform pop-up box together. I am not going to be sharing this in slow motion. In fact, I'm going to cut out quite a bit of the creation process for this because it's very, very similar. Same goes for the last card, but I do want to keep a little bit of it in just to kind of show you my thought process and talk you through what I was thinking. So I love the farmhouse style. If you guys have followed me for any length of time, you do know that I tend to gravitate towards traditional red-green Christmas, or at least red and white. I'm a very big red and white decorator. But in my basement this year, I kind of did more of a neutral-ish little skinny tree. And that was what inspired this particular card. Plus, I found it really, really fun to create. I absolutely love how this little guy turned out. I decided to go with the wood grain type of pattern paper for the base. I am outfitting my gnome in black and gray. Again, coloring him just like before. What I love about some of the pattern papers in Farm Fresh Holiday, and mostly Farm Fresh Holiday, there are some papers that look like gold glitter, silver glitter, so you don't have to use glitter cardstock. And I kind of like that because I wasn't feeling very blingy for these particular cards. Sometimes I feel like a lot of bling, sometimes not, and this was one of them. Again, just like our pine tree forest for the last card, I was going for something fun in the background. Well, we have snowflakes scattered or drifting, floating in our cards. I like this khaki background with white snowflakes. This is from the Log Cabin paper pad. So Log Cabin and Farm Fresh Holiday work really, really nicely together. And we're just going to simply assemble all of our presents just like before. Grab your favorite pattern papers, die cut the elements, assemble. And then for this gnome, I did use some gemstones again to embellish his outfit. I don't think I did it on camera. I'm using Holiday Traditions. There's kind of a smoky gray color in that. I think I've mentioned this in other videos. I did a waffle flower video a while back when I used a ton of these honeybee gem stickers. I love them. Self-adhesive. They're the little small size that I particularly love. And they come in so many colors. I have multiple packs of most of them. And I use them all the time. They're fantastic. So I highly recommend them. And one package goes a long way. I think Rainbow is the one that I've bought over and over and over again because I've used them a lot. Just like our first card, the burlap pattern paper is one of my favorite because used die cut from ribbon. It looks like burlap ribbon and I love it. It's very realistic looking. The wood grain is realistic. The burlap is realistic. The glitter is realistic, and it's all just flat pattern paper. Pattern paper was one of my very first loves. If you guys have been with me since the scrapbooking days, you know that I am a huge pattern paper fan. I think it probably speaks a lot about my fabric obsession as well. If you follow me, you probably know that I quilt and I love fabric. I'm a fabric collector, I think, more than a quilter. I try to be a lot of a quilter on the weekends. I'm a weekend warrior quilter, but I absolutely love patterns. They're kind of my love language, and I feel that way about pattern paper. Oh, I love that little gold bow on the silverish or gray. It's kind of a gray linen. It's the outfit for the gnome, and I also used it for one of the packages. I love it. But doesn't it look like glitter cardstock? It's amazing. So we're simply going to finish assembling all these little guys. We're going to place them all in the different layers. I'm going to add acetate picks just like before. This one is going to have a little burlap rounded rectangle on the back, which I'm going to show you close-ups of all of that when we're finished. So Lawn Fawn, this is the one where I woke up after I had done all of these one day and I thought, you know what? Originally, I chose not to do the Lawn Fawn, mostly because most of these prints are either out of stock or no longer available. And then I thought, that's silly. A lot of us probably have these Lawn Fawn pattern papers in our stash. They are from 3 separate years. I'm going to tell you what we're using. I showed you there a minute ago, but it was fast. Let It Shine, Snow Day Remix, and Let It Shine Snowflakes. And I used papers from all of them. And just like before, I've already assembled everything. I'm just tucking things in the box. I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit down low here. There, I'll move it back. But it's very modern. So this is more of what I would call my modern whimsical platform pop-up for holiday. I have my traditional, I have my rustic, and now we have the modern. And I wanted to show 3 different colorways and hopefully maybe hit something that speaks to your heart. I do want to give one other little tip, and I didn't get to it, but I thought it would be fun and I wanted to mention it here. Maybe you don't want to do Christmas per se. Maybe you would like to do more of a winter theme, so you could leave it up, or the recipient could leave it up throughout the winter season. Wouldn't it be fun to maybe do blues and grays? Leave out the Christmassy sentiment, but blues, grays, some purples, some snowflakes, and really maybe take the present part out of it and do some gnomes. You could do even a little mushroom house. There's a lot of different things you can do here. So I just wanted to inspire you and maybe jumpstart that creativity bug in you. Let's take a close-up look at all 3 platform pop-ups now. Here is the traditional. And it just fits right in your hand. How cute would even a little village of these? I could probably have made these all day. All week, you guys. I think they're really fun. Just so many different ways to do that. And there's the back. Again, it folds down. It fits in a standard A2 size envelope, just like that. And then when you pull it out, you just push up with your thumbs and it pops up into shape. Let's go ahead and do the rustic one next. Same thing. I did a little embossing since the platform itself was darker on this one, just used a different greeting. Little snowflake scattered background. I love the colors again. It folds flat, pops up into shape, and there's the back. Merry Christmas from our home to yours on that burlap pattern paper on the rounded rectangle. For our modern Christmas, Lawn Fawn pattern paper, bright, happy colors, lots of pinks and teals and greens and reds. I love it. It's just happy, happy. And then candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses. I thought that seemed a little whimsical to me. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this A Year of Christmas video. It was super fun to make. I hope it's inspired you maybe to get started on your holiday crafting. I know it seems really early, but you guys know as well as I do that the holidays will probably be here before we know it. The supplies I use to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. I have reached 200 Patreon members. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. If you would like to become a member of Patreon, please click the link in the description below. I would love to have you over there. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.